And welcome back to yet another episode of Funny Talk with Mangelli and Max. I'm your co-host, Tom Mangelli, and this schlub is Doug Max.
Hey, I am Doug Max. I don't think I'm a schlub. And one of our favorite comedians, favorite women, I can call her, except she's married and I don't want her husband to get upset, but Randi Simon Lupo is on air with us tonight.
Hi, Randi.
Hey, great to be here.
Great to have you. Good to see you again. It's been a while.
Good to see you guys. I miss everyone. I really do.
Yeah.
You miss everyone equally, or Tom and I more than
definitely
everyone else?
I miss Tom and you more. I do, more than anyone. I miss everyone, but you guys the most.
And the
I always
reason
have
is
fun on your show.
because we don't take the cake. We give it to you.
You do. You guys are so generous with your cake. What kind of cake do we have this evening?
We have COVID cake.
COVID cake. Yay! Goody. Delicious.
That's right. COVID cake. Tom and I were baking this afternoon. We love doing that Tuesday.
It has to be eaten through a mask. So it's a little tricky.
2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, a quarter cup of some shortening, butter.
But the strange thing is you can't taste it.
Oh, you can't taste it. You can't smell it.
Yeah.
That's why we put all the baking soda and salt in the recipe. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. But the truth is, I've eaten so much cake in my life that I could just visualize and think about what it tastes like. It doesn't even matter.
You know what? You spend a second reflecting and visualizing internally on what those cakes tasted like, and I'm going to ask you how much they weighed in total, while Tom and I take care of a little show business.
Yes, actually, we wanted to make sure that you're aware of J. Irwin Productions. If you want a comedy show for a fundraiser, a birthday party, a celebration of any sort, you need to write Jack at jirwinproductions.com. Right, Doug?
You need to write to Jack. Otherwise, we're going to find out where you live. We're going to send you things like chocolate and flowers, and the guilt is going to it's going to take you over, and you'll finally end up calling up, writing Jack at jirwinproductions.com and scheduling some sort of show. Jack is in contact with 200 of New Jersey's finest comedians, including Tom and I, so make it 202.
And a half. And
he produces shows all over, and he's a wonderful human being and a favorite of New Jersey comedians, because when he puts on a show, he puts on shows with comedians who get along, are nice people, are always funny.
And Jack's great to work with, and you're guaranteed laughs, and you're going to want to hire him another time after that. Guaranteed. So contact Jack at jirwinproductions.com. He is our sponsor and good friend, a friend of the show. So,
speaking of friend of the show, I think we can call Randi a friend of the show, because we both love her, and she apparently loves us.
I love you guys so much.
Like how much?
So much I love you.
You know, we're talking about cake before. Randi,
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, I just said so much I love you.
Yes,
I know.
So much I love yous.
We read lips. It's okay. But did you hear about this new yodel that they came out with, Alpine yodels?
No. Tell me about this.
If you're a vanilla lover like me, they have the like the traditional yodel, except the cake is white cake. The cream is still white, but the outside is also, I guess, white chocolate.
Really? I don't know if I'd like that. I prefer like white cake, the cream filling, and chocolate on the outside. I think that would be the best.
Wait, let me write this down.
Can you get those for the next time I'm on the show?
I will.
White cake, vanilla frosting, right?
White cake, white frosting, and white filler cream.
Oh, wait. Oh, did you say we're not talking about my game?
She doesn't care what flavor it is. She just cares it's a white cake. That's kind of Randi.
Yes.
You're not racist, are you? It's very white.
No, not last I checked. I like
My
all cakes, white cakes, black
Thank you
cakes,
for the
brown
nomination. My favorite
yellow
cake is
cakes,
white cake
red cakes. I like
with
them
a
all.
white frosting
I don't
and
discriminate against
white
cake.
filler, and I prefer it being served on a white plate. And if no white real silverware is available, I'll take white plastic silverware, please.
Thank you.
Who was obsessed with white? Somebody who painted. Oh, Barbara Streisand was rumored to tell venues that they had to paint her microphone white.
Why?
Everything
Why
had to
did
be
they have to
white.
paint the mic?
Like the
Why?
white, the cord had to be white, because I'm not going to say Barbara Streisand was racist, but I believe she had a little issue with white. She wanted the decor, she wanted everything to be white. So I don't know. So her
Maybe it
skin,
took the glare off her nose.
Oh, that could be. And she wanted to feel like she was in an asylum.
It's good to see you, Randy. You look great, by the way. For those of you listening, for those of you who can't see Randy, Randy is lovely, lovely inside and outside.
Oh,
A
Doug,
wonderful comedian
blush.
with just the right amount of. I like her because she's on the dark side. She's had stuff happen to her. We won't talk about that. This won't make a funny show. But I can tell from her sense of humor.
Doug, did you ever see my one-woman show, Sometimes I'm Okay?
No, I didn't, Randy. It's
Speaking of dark, you would like that. I think you'd love it.
Sure, I would. I really don't like to see other comedians, particularly if they're funny, because it only gets me depressed. Tom knows.
No. Oh, you would love my one-woman show because it's not funny at all.
I know I would, Randy. I love you. I know I would love to see the show, and it just never.
Well, there's
happened.
like 3 funny lines, but I don't do it to be funny.
Well, that makes it easy. No kidding. So if you did it to be funny, do you think you would have a harder time?
Yeah, I didn't want to do a one-woman show where I had to make the audience laugh every 10 to 30 seconds. I just wanted it to tell a story. And I think it gets in the way when you always have to make everyone laugh, like, ha, 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 ha. You know what? It's fun to do comedy. I love doing comedy.
Yeah,
But I also have a very serious side to me. I'm not always like a laughing hyena.
Which side is that? Is that the left
Side or the
or
serious?
the right side?
To say that again?
You said you had a serious side. I'm wondering if it was the left or the right.
I think it's more towards the center. I think it's more moderate, more like in the news zone.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, this seems like this could be the perfect segue for our entertainment segment. Sigmund Fraud. Psychoanalysis with messed up comedians. We've been
Randy,
talking about doing that.
we talked about, you know how 60 Minutes has the TikTok clock in the beginning?
Yeah.
I wanted to do 50 minutes and make it like a therapy session.
Oh, that would be cool. I would love that.
We could do like a Zoom group therapy with Sigmund Freud.
Oh, I please invite me to that one. I'd be so into that.
Okay.
Randy, you're just in the beginning of it. So lie back, relax. What's your first memory, dear? I'm sorry.
I remember dreaming of really extra large stuffed animals all over my bed.
Really?
Did any of them look like Tom?
No, they didn't. They weren't human. They were all like animals, like horses and giraffes.
You've never seen me in bed.
Ooh, send me a video.
Oh my God. Okay, stop it. Anyway,
wait, is this a clean show? Wait,
Yes.
wait, what is this rated? So I know.
It's COVID-19.
It's rated
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Yes.
Yeah, so it has to be appropriate for people that are what, Tom? Infected, immune,
Infirmed.
think about COVID. So how are you managing? We've been asking our guests, for some reason COVID has come up. How are you managing?
How am I managing with COVID?
Yeah.
I was lucky enough not to get sick, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked the lockdown. I know I like.
I know why,
I loved
too.
an excuse just to be home and not
I
go
know.
anywhere.
You don't have to
Not-
deal with people.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, okay, all right. I think I could do this. I really think I could do this.
Gardening, cleaning, cooking.
Well, I'm not gonna get carried away with cooking and cleaning. That's not really my fortes.
Oh,
But
that's me.
but I think about doing them. I just don't really do them.
That is really me.
Although I did
I am.
declutter my house recently.
Did.
I'm good at that too. I'm
Are you?
seriously OCD. I'm OCD in everything.
I would love to hire someone with OCD to come and clean and organize my house.
I can do that, Randy, and
That's
for
the
a little
guy.
bit more, I can annoy you too.
You could what?
Actually, for a little bit less, for a discount, I can annoy you too. What are you doing with gardening tools next to sewing stuff? What kind of organization is this? Where are you people from?
Oh, Randy, you don't know half of it. I'm like Oscar Madison. He's like Felix Unger, and he's constantly getting on me to clean my car and declutter. I've got stuff in my car. Do you remember
You
Felix
have
the
a
cat?
refrigerator. You had a refrigerator. I don't know if it's still there.
In your
You had
car?
a refrigerator. He had a
Yes.
refrigerator in the back seat of his car.
Wait,
You
was
never-
it plugged in? Was
No,
it
but
plugged?
you never know when you're going to get hungry. It had a really long.
I'm with you. I'm an obsessive compulsive eater. I just think about food constantly. I can't help my. If you talk
you
about
are
food,
Randy.
what?
Look at well, our audience doesn't know. You are lovely and svelte, and Tom. Let me tell you a story about Tom.
Tom looks like he lost weight. You lost weight, huh?
Everybody says that, but
I'm worried about
Your
it.
face looks thinner, Tom.
It's the camera. It loses.
Must be the camera.
It makes him lose 10 pounds at a certain size.
I
It
thought it's
drops you.
supposed to add 10 pounds.
I'm dyslexic. What can I say?
I guess people know my father died, and I inherited some money.
Good
And
for you.
I wanted to make this announcement on the show with you, Randy, because you're so special to us. I found a site that you can order a custom-made hot air balloon. I sent them a screenshot of Tom. In 7 weeks, I'm going to have a hot air balloon. You fill it up through one leg. It's got a cane. It's like 120 feet tall.
Is this a joke or for real?
No, it's a joke.
Oh, wait.
It's like most of Doug's jokes. Yeah. You don't know that they're jokes.
Yeah.
Wait, so that's what you're going to do with the money you inherited?
Yeah, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy a Tom Mangelli balloon, and I'm
just
going
buy
to
me cake with that money.
I'm touring the world. I wish Tom could come with me. That's the irony.
Are you going to go with your girlfriend?
I think she would love it. But we're going to do a comedy tour. We're going to follow the Gulf Stream. So whatever's next east of New Jersey.
Oh, wow. That's exciting, guys.
I guess it'll be, what will it be, Tom? Spain? Something like that?
Sure, why not? But, I live in Lakehurst, so he wants to, fashion me like the Hindenburg. Because that's where the Hindenburg exploded. When they mentioned the Hindenburg disaster when I first moved down here, I'm thinking disaster, what? They must have been talking about the flight that they ran out of strudel or something. That would have been a disaster in my book.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Tommy, we even made that joke, food authentic, to the Zeppelin. That was great. The strudel. It's a very good German dessert. I wonder what they served on the Hindenburg.
Well, they had strudel night. Well, they had a Hindenburger. It was...
What about Wiener Schnitzel?
On a Kaiser bun.
Yes.
Wiener Schnitzel?
No, the Hindenburger was on a Kaiser. It was a flaming hamburger on a Kaiser bun with German potato salad on the side.
Yeah. And sauerkraut.
And sauerkraut.
No.
Sauerkraut is supposed to be very good for your digestion.
Tom,
Yeah.
didn't they serve any other hamburger or anything on the Hindenburg?
Well, there was a Nuremberger, but that was on a trial basis. See, Doug feeds me lines from my own act.
Yeah,
We
because
can't
if I
stop
fed him
doing it.
lines on my act, here, let me try this one.
As long as you're feeding me, Doug, I'm okay.
So she gave me a really nice hug, leaned into me, undid my zipper. I peed on her leg. That was that one. You don't remember that, Tom? That was my joke about seeing a woman online who really liked her puppy. And I
Yes,
thought,
but out of context, it just sounded real creepy.
Just a
Hey, well,
little, just a little. Oh my goodness, my ass is killing me.
so my premise was that I was going to act like a puppy to have my way with this woman.
Doug, you're not our guest. Randy is. Let's spend some time on her, please.
And your girlfriend is not going to want
What's the name of our show? Why do you keep on forgetting that?
Funny Talk with Mangelli.
Mangelli and Max. Yeah, Randy even knows that, Tom. So what are
Funny
you
Talk
talking
with
to me about?
Mangelli and Max. How could
What
you
are you
forget?
talking to me about talking too much?
Oh, Randy, you know what I wanted to ask you?
Hmm.
I've been looking for places that has apple picking, and everybody says, "Oh, you have to go to what's the town with the F?
Manalapan, Freehold.
Freehold." It says you have to go to Freehold. That's where they are.
Oh,
like,
Yeah,
that's where
okay.
they have
Stephanie goes.
There's what is it called? Battleground Orchards.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Oh, I've been there, I think.
Battleground Orchards.
I've been there. From the
Really? That was
battleground
my
side.
first job in New Jersey. I was a migrant worker. I used to work out in the fields. I was a greeter. I'd be like, the Macintosh are that way, the Yellow Delicious are that way. And then, like, it was terrible. We didn't get lunch breaks, and we had to pee in a porta potty. We
Oh,
couldn't
gee.
even wash our hands. And
Where did you learn
it was
English
hard.
so
It was
well?
hard. After that, I got a job, seasonal help at Toys R Us, and I thought I was moving up in the world because I went from outdoors to indoors. It was wonderful.
I could never work at Toys R Us.
Yeah,
Because
well,
of
I
the
would.
R.
Why?
Because of the
What?
R. Because of
Because
the
he was a
R.
oh, because the
pedophile.
R is backwards.
No,
and you
it's
have
not
a-
because I'm a pedophile. It's because the
I
R is
love toys.
backwards. They're rules. There's a reason for rules. Some of them aren't. They're 26 letters. I have to go messing with a letter.
Mhm.
So, Randy, have you been? We were talking before the show, and you mentioned you've been doing a few shows and on poolside shows and whatnot. Tell us
Yeah.
about. Yeah, talk
They
to
were
us.
they were so much fun, and you know what? It was great to be performing again, and also the audience really enjoyed it because it's like everyone seems to need to get out and just have a good time. So they were really fantastic shows, and I've done some Zoom shows, and I'm doing more, and I'm working on murder mysteries. I just performed one with some wonderful ladies. I think it was 2 weekends ago. We do it in Middletown, and we did the Friends one. We were like the middle-aged friends, and I played Phoebe, and it was really cool. Next one we're doing
Who was killed?
I don't hear you.
Who was killed?
Who was Janice. Remember Janice with the
Oh yeah.
Janice.
If anybody deserved to be killed, it was Janice.
Huh?
If anyone deserved to be killed, it was Janice.
It was Janice, yeah. And then November 14th and 15th, we're doing one based on The Sopranos called Soup Brandos. And you should, yeah, it's gonna be fun. You want to know who gets killed in that one?
Yeah.
Tony.
Oh no. He didn't have a heart attack, did he?
Well, something happens where his head and his pinky and pinky ring are floating in the Zupa de mussels.
Oh,
By the way, do you know why Phoebe is my favorite Friends character?
Why?
Because her last name is Buffet.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Tom. I love a good buffet.
I even love a bad one.
Oh, I know a bad one. Oh God, is it where You know, it's on Route 9 where the Burlington Coat Factory is. That is the strangest Chinese buffet because they serve hot dogs and apple pies. And I was like, I'm so confused why this food is there.
I've been to
Corn on
some
the
Chinese
cob, like,
buffets, and
like
they're like the size of a football field. And I'm
it's
like,
true.
how can they possibly keep all the seafood like fresh and not bacteria ridden?
Who says it's not?
Everyone needs a little bacteria now and
Hey,
again.
helps your immune system.
There used to be
Absolutely.
a Max buffet on Route 22, and
What is it called? Wait, what is it called on Route
it was
22?
called Max Buffet.
I don't
And
think
I
I've ever been
remember
there.
I
It's
took
worth
the boys there once, but it was only the one time.
Wait, Doug, you have 2 boys?
Yes, that I know of.
And any grandchildren?
No, not that I know of.
You're funny.
Well, I'm a guy. As far as I know, I have the 2 kids.
Okay, that makes sense. I get
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's not impossible that there might be, you know, I don't know. Somebody might not have told me. They might have been embarrassed, but they wanted to keep the kid. You know, I don't know.
I'm sure they weren't embarrassed if they wanted to keep your child.
Yeah, but they didn't want, you know, I don't know. I always wondered about that.
No, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that.
How about we don't?
I was always afraid of
I
my
have
first.
2 sons.
You have to, my first husband, he was in the Vietnam War, stationed in Thailand, and I always swore that I was going to get a knock on the door from an Amerasian child looking to find their real father. I
Oh,
always
no.
did, because he really got around.
Yeah. Well, hey, you never know. Could still happen.
I was lucky.
I
I
look
missed
forward to it.
Vietnam.
I'm a big fan of. I love children, although at this point I think they'd be grown children.
Yeah. You know, we're talking about buffets before.
Here we go.
Atlantic City has always been known for their buffets, like any gambling town, and they stopped having the the buffets in Atlantic City, but they recently opened them up again. I went to the Hard Rock Cafe buffet, but they're not setting it up as a buffet. They took out half. They took out half the tables, so you're distancing, and you would order the same foods that you would get up to get on the buffet, but through the waiter, and he would bring as much of it as he wanted over, and he could bring seconds and thirds, and doesn't matter, just like all you can eat.
I want to go.
Yeah, and the good part about it is with a regular buffet, you can't take food out of there. But if you've ordered through the waiter and he brings it to your table and there's leftover, you can take leftovers home from the buffet.
That's cool. That's very cool. What do? You bring your own Tupperwares?
No, they have the styrofoam containers, That's funny though. Tupperware. I once went to a Meatloaf concert, and I actually showed up with Tupperware. I thought there might be leftovers, but big letdown. Big letdown.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Doug.
Well, Tom, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't have ordered a hot air balloon that looks like you.
Where's the cake, guys? I'm getting hungry.
I don't know. I got to stay away from. I've been gaining weight oh my God, it's
ever
bad.
since the
I
operation.
understand.
Tom?
I look like a football player.
Oof, I look like a Macy's Day float.
I always loved Macy's Day, maybe the Thanksgiving Day parade, Macy's floats. I always thought they were fun, so maybe that's why I always like.
You guys should try my diet if you're worried about your weight.
What's your diet? What's your diet,
So
Doug?
you don't eat until you start feeling hungry, like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. You have a cup of coffee in the morning, and then you spend the day like worrying about stuff that probably won't happen, or
I would be worrying about what I'm going to
dirty,
eat.
things that are dirty that need to be cleaned, and things that need to be done, and you run a catalog in your head constantly.
Now, Randy, I don't know if you like me, but because I'm hungry is the last reason why I eat.
I get it.
I'm not even sure what hungry means.
I know. Yeah, I know. I'm the same. It's like if I'm happy, angry, lonely, sad.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter the emotion.
right.
It's always time to eat, regardless.
Uh-huh.
And there's always room for dessert, even if you feel like you're gonna vomit. You could always pack in a little dessert, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Especially cake.
But the eating, the chewing, it distracts your mind from worrying.
Maybe that, but you prefer to worry overeating, Doug?
Hey, well, look at
Your
me.
skin and bones. Your skin
Hey,
and bones, Doug.
between the two of us, the questions are, what's eating Doug and what is Tom eating?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we make a hell of a team.
Can I get a more comfortable chair in the studio? My ass is killing me. You have
Hang
to see
on.
what they have me sitting on.
Hang on,
Hard, hard
we'll get you.
ladder. Would you believe I'm actually sitting on a
We'll
ladder?
get you a bladder. I thought you said bladder.
That too. I'm sitting on my bladder on my
Because we
ladder.
do, the Funny Talk, we do have an air bladder for our
Doug,
guests.
Doug, it's
that
a
are-
step ladder. It's a step ladder. She didn't know a real ladder.
Step ladder, a bladder. I like it. I like it.
So are you guys looking forward to the presidential debate that might happen Thursday?
I'm gonna watch it. What about you guys?
I actually have a show Thursday. I agreed
Nice.
to do what I thought was a show in East Rutherford. It turns out it's an open mic. So I'm driving an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back to do 5 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you'll have fun.
I'm planning on a new 5 minutes to work out. So
Oh, beautiful. That's
not a
perfect.
lost cause.
You want to practice with us? How does
No.
it begin?
No, I'm not quite there yet.
You have something other than, can you see this if I don't move the microphone? I like that.
Oh.
Okay. So, okay, guys. Somebody
That's
move
when
the
I
show
talk to you
along.
guys. I really miss my mother. I don't understand what that's about.
You're talking to us and you miss your mother?
Yeah,
Are
isn't
you
that
sad?
strange?
Yeah.
Why you think
Because
that
she's
is?
sad. She's sad. She's feeling like life has lost meaning, and she wants her mom to.
Now, is your
comfort her.
mom alive?
No, no. Oh, you thought I just like lost her at the mall or something?
Maybe, I don't know.
No, yeah. Actually, it's on October 15th was 13 years since her passing.
Aw.
Wow. The anniversaries are the toughest.
They are. I agree.
Yeah. My mom was January 13th, and every January I kind of hunker down. I don't take gigs if I don't have to, and you know what? I was always a big guy, but when my mother died, I gained over 100 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't think she'd be that stringy. No, that's a joke, of course. Of course, I knew she'd be stringy.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God! You know, I can't believe you didn't brine or marinade or something.
It's true, though. I did gain over 100 pounds when she died. I was a wreck.
You were like, do you feel like you were emotionally eating?
Oh, absolutely. But I didn't even realize I was eating. But
He's clearly always been emotional.
my medical condition like blew up at that point. I didn't realize I had diabetes and my sugar was all over the place. It was like up to 800. And I didn't know
You're
it.
lucky. You're lucky to be alive, Tom.
Oh yeah, no, I was a complete wreck.
So what did you do?
Well, eventually and the bad part is I was moving quite often, and I was changing my doctor, so I wasn't getting any continual, medical care. So things kind of just like went so far out of proportion that, I am lucky to be alive. I really am.
Anyway, Tom, you know I dabble in medicine. I don't know
Do
what
you?
you're.
What do you do?
Oh, you know, consultations, minor surgery, that kind of thing.
Did you know that
Really?
I opened up a discount surgical center called Suit Yourself? Working out well.
Do you know I once had this friend named Bill Keeney, and he met this really nice woman, Sue, and they hit it off. They ended up getting married, and she became Sue Keeney.
Oh no. Was that true?
Yeah,
Was
they
that a
had
joke?
delicious little baby zucchinis too. Baby keenies.
So you
Maybe
reminded
kids.
me, I was in a CVS, and every employee there had a name tag. And they only had the first letter of the last name. I didn't know this at the time. The woman I was helping me do, I forget what it was. But when I looked to her tag, this is a very large woman, I should say, very large woman, sizable woman who liked to eat.
I could relate.
When I looked at her name tag and I wanted to address her by name because I'm a personable person, her name tag said Suey, Sue Y. There was no period after the Y. It was Suey.
Like the pig call.
Is that
And
what you called her, Sue?
And I thought, well, I kind of created a ruckus because I didn't just call her Suey. I only know one way to say Suey. You know, the way people say Suey.
Suey.
Yeah. On the pig farm, if you didn't say it that way, they wouldn't come and eat. Yeah.
Well, Doug, just so you know, you don't have to say it that way for me to come and eat.
I can call you Suey. Anyway, I thought, you know, the manager of that store, really, somebody should have talked to him because clearly he could have put the pieces together and said, you know, maybe we'll just use the person's first name and forget the last letter. You know, they might have had two Sues, so he could have said, okay, you're going to be Suzanne or Susan or, you know. But my name.
Randy, is Doug doing a good job of lulling you to sleep? I see you yawning.
I'm so, please forgive my yawning. I just didn't sleep well last night. Please forgive me. That, and I have a lack of oxygen.
Nobody, you know, what's
Oh, no.
audio, nobody would have known she's yawning unless you said
Thanks,
something
Tom.
about it.
Thanks,
I'm
Tom.
sorry.
Yeah, Tom.
Are
Okay,
you gonna
let's
make me
start the
yawn
show.
again?
Can we start the show over again?
I thought she thought we were MGM and she was doing the lion. You know.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So, Randy, you were wondering what we were going to talk about tonight.
She's still wondering.
So, Tom, why don't you reveal our special topic for Randy this evening to get the show into high gear here?
Am I supposed to know what you're talking about?
You know, you're supposed to just make up something.
Oh, well, what do you think about this as an idea? You know how I know that I get my best laughs at funerals and wakes. I don't know why. It's like the forbidden thing is like, I know that you're not supposed to be giggling at the funeral home. So I go ahead and I try to make people laugh, and they do. And half the room is laughing. The other half is giving me the stink eye for making the other half laugh.
Right, like being like, oh, you're so disrespectful.
Exactly. So here's my idea. After the COVID stuff is over and places are open again, have an a closed casket open mic. Have somebody who's not dead yet. We roast him, and
You mean like on their way out? They're not dead yet, but they're like on.
It's like you eulogize them.
yeah.
before
So
they're dead.
you never know how people really feel about you because you're dead when they're, you know. So now you can find out what people really think about you, and we can set it up where, you know, we'll have like flowers on the stage, and if I was the MC, I'd be wearing a suit with a carnation, like the funeral director. We'd have like 3 comics doing jokes on the person, and then 3 family and friends doing jokes on the person. So it'd be kind of like a roast.
I know you're all sad. Some of you are wondering why Tom's casket is so small. Oh, by the way, did I mention the ribs in the back of the room?
I like, but you know what, Tom? That's a good idea. Yeah, if you want to know what people really think. Yeah, and so yeah, why wait till you're dead when people because everyone takes you for granted when you're
Who wants
alive.
to
And like
know
really couldn't
what
that people I know so many people are like that. Then it's like you're dead, and all of a sudden you become a hero.
Can
And
I
you're
tell you
so
something?
wonderful.
People my whole life have told me what they think of me. I don't want to know what people think of me. I already know. I don't want to hear it anymore.
But you know, Randy,
You
you're
want to
talking
call
about.
me
We're
Sandy?
calling you Sandy in the second half of the show. We're going to call you Sandy.
Only at the beach I'd call you Sandy. But a lot of people are having trouble sleeping during this whole period.
Yeah, I am having trouble sleeping. I
Yeah.
am. This is why I'm so tired.
I'm always falling asleep. I have to take a nap in the afternoon. Too bad I drive for a living. No, that's not true. But my sleep has been terribly disrupted. I'll wake up like 100 times during the night, and I'll get what?
You just gave me $1 million idea.
What's that?
A new adventure ride.
Yeah.
It's like Uber, but it only has narcoleptic drivers. So you bill it as it's an adventure ride.
No, I want to have a car transport company with big-breasted women and call it Boober. Now I wanted to call Lyft for a ride. I had to call Forklift.
Those are funny. Use those on Thursday.
Yeah, I think I will.
Those are funny.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to be careful with offending the women, Tom.
Where is your show on Thursday?
It's at the Railroad Cafe in East Rutherford.
Nice.
Yeah.
So can you believe that Tom has said stupid things, Randy, that women have taken incorrectly?
Like what? Give me an example.
I'm on this list that's going around. These comedians, these female comedians with the U2 stuff of one of the creepy comics list.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah.
Totally. Can I just say, I'm going to defend my friend a little bit. So I know some of the incidents. So one of them was a joke about a woman who was well endowed, and he said, if you look at her from the side, she looks like the letter P. Not horrible, but this woman took offense. But the other was a woman had done jokes about her tattoos, like all over her body.
Sure.
And when she got off stage and Tom was walking up, he was next one up, he said to her something like, you want to play Where's Waldo? Topical.
She didn't? And she didn't want to play the game?
She thought Tom was...
I was saying it to be cute, and then to make a joke, she thought I was hitting on her.
I think she just wasn't a big game player.
No, but Tom and I have talked too about comedians that lose their sense of humor the minute their set is over.
That's me. My kids would always say, Mom, you're a comedian with no sense of humor. I was like, that's right.
Well, family is different.
I have no sense of humor.
But I've run into comedians like that, and they're really tight, and they're nervous, and very often it's their I don't know, they don't want to get thrown off their game. They're like, you see people mumbling to themselves before their set. They're not sure of themselves, so they get easily thrown off.
See, the stupid remarks, the funny remarks, and the one-liners. For me, it's like Tourette syndrome. I have no control over it. It just comes out. It's like it's now. I've just learned to just go with it and regret later.
He's a wordplay idiot savant.
That's just who you are. It has to come. You can't stop it. You just can't control it.
If there's a word where there is a play on the word, he will, he will find material from it.
But my brain is stuck at 12 years old, literally, and I'm constantly thinking like a 12-year-old. I just turned 59. I'm like,
When's your birthday? Did I miss it?
yeah, it was a couple weeks ago, October 9th.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Oh, I got you a rock, Tom.
Thank you. I'll add it to the collection. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
Who are you gonna say? So yeah, you're right.
So, Randy, what would you like to talk about? Sleep.
Pillow.
Sleep.
My pillow.
Did you ever read that book?
Why don't we all take a nap? Why don't we take a nap on air?
Did you ever read the book I Fell Over the Cliff by Eileen Dover? Or Yellow Rivers by I.P. Daly?
Yeah, that one I read.
What about, my favorite was The Overpopulation in China by We Fuck 'em Young.
I've been reading a series of really short books.
Which
Bill
one?
Clinton's Book of Morals. How to Build How to Build an Airplane at Home by John Denver.
I love John Denver. Rocky Mountain High. I wish I was a country boy. I wish I was a.
You know, I had a girlfriend.
Rocky Mountain was also low for him.
I had a girlfriend in college that resembled John Denver. She had the same kind of haircut and the same
Was she
glasses.
platinum blonde like him? Was she a
No,
platinum?
no, she was brunette. But you know, I think it was just before we broke up that I realized the
It was
similarity.
like a Brady Bunch. Wasn't it a Brady Bunch haircut too?
Oh, the cousin Oliver. Cousin Oliver. Remember him? Didn't he look like John Denver?
Oliver did remind me of John Denver for sure.
Yeah.
I never got into the Brady Bunch. You guys watch?
Oh, I
Brady
love
Bunch,
the Brady Bunch.
Really?
Marsha. I think I was the president of the Marsha Brady fan club, even though I identified more with Jan Brady because I'm the middle sister in my family.
I identified more with Alice. She spent all her time in the kitchen too.
And with Sam the Butcher.
So, Randy, what is the finest food you prepare?
I would say the finest food I prepare is meatloaf. I make a mean meatloaf. It's actually delicious.
How do you make it?
Okay, so sometimes I use chicken meat, to be honest, chicken meat. And I don't add bread or bread. I add oatmeal to lower my cholesterol or yours. I use oatmeal. I use ketchup, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and then I put in mustard, Worcestershire sauce. Could you say Worcestershire sauce? And Peter Luger sauce. It is outrageous. It's like eating candy. Like you can't get enough of my meat.
What is Peter Luger sauce?
It's like you marinate steak in it. It's like, I don't know if you ever ate a Peter Luger's, but you usually marinate steak. But I put them in my meatloaf and I use my hands to mix. So it's like you're putting like a lot of love and like a lot of passion in it. And it's so delicious. Oh, my husband loves my meatloaf. I make it like, that's like, he has to love it.
So when you make it with chicken, what do you grind up the chicken?
Well, I already get the ground up chicken.
You can get like ground chicken, like ground beef. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys like meatloaf?
I love meatloaf, especially his first album, "Bat Out of Hell."
Wait. Next time I come on your show, can I bring you guys some meatloaf? Would you eat it?
We'll eat it, but we're not in any centralized location like we used to be. We're not at Hamilton Studios.
Do you think you'll ever go back
in the after time?
Wait, can I ask you something? Do you think COVID's going to change everything? Like even after COVID's over, you'll still do your show remote just because that's like the new thing and like we're getting used to?
I think that's a possibility. I know we're not going back to Hamilton Studios, Hamilton Radio.
Ever again?
No, I don't think.
Oh.
We didn't leave there because of COVID, but it just coincided kind of.
Oh,
but
wow.
I kind of like the Zoom setup now. What about you, Doug?
Yeah, I like it. It's funny. When we were on air in studio, the guests were to the side, and so you're turning to the side. Your audience is in front of you. Your guest is to the side. It was here. We can see everybody. So I like this. And it's easy to get guests because you don't have to ask them to drive an hour and a half, in rush hour traffic on the turnpike or
That's
whatever.
true. But
And
what I miss mostly is having cake with you guys.
Well, yeah,
That we can't do.
that we can't do. And Doug and I always, stop for dinner before the show. And
I remember I did that with you once. That food was,
yes,
what was the
Yeah.
name of that restaurant? That was really good.
yeah,
Oh, if it was a good restaurant, it was Villa Barone in
Villa
Is it still
beautiful
there?
Robbinsville, New
Yeah.
Jersey.
think
Villa
so.
Barone?
Ask for Sergio the waiter. Tell him
Okay.
Doug sent you. He probably misses us. They probably wonder.
You're right.
We were eating at another place near there, but a waitress found out that we're comedians and doing a show, and we would meet beforehand to talk about the
Someone's
show.
walking.
Yeah, if you need to go, Randy, it's fine. We'll just,
Oh,
Dude.
I had an
No, it's-
ADD moment. You know what it is? You ever like in a basement and you hear walking above you, but no one else is there with you, and you're like, did somebody just break in? That's what I thought just happened.
I
Oh,
had
wow.
heard
I
a
thought somebody
bang
broke in my
earlier,
house.
and nobody's in my house, so.
Yeah, but that's the scary part when no one's in your house, but then you hear someone and
Okay, well, you've got a husband in the house, I believe.
I do.
Okay. So couldn't he be making sounds?
No. He's with me.
Maybe it's the meatloaf.
Oh,
I know.
the
I know
guy.
hot dogs repeat on me, so maybe meatloaf does.
That reminds me, Tom and I once did a show. My father was alive. And during the show, I dropped like an Encyclopedia Britannica on the floor, so it made a big, big thump.
Oh, I remember those. Those were heavy.
And Tom goes, what was that? Oh, I think my dad fell. Don't you need to go? He'll be fine.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, but taking care of an elder parent, it's a tough job. I have to hand it to you, Doug.
Yeah, well,
I
you
did
did it too, Tom, so I know you
Did
know
it
what
with
it's
my
like.
dad. Yeah.
And I highly recommend to our listener that if you get the opportunity to take care of a beloved older relative,
Mm-hmm.
just know it's worth your while to like find every excuse possible. Get a disease, move out of the country.
Randy, I don't know if you know this about me, but I tend to be passive aggressive. So when I was taking care of my dad, as much as I loved him, I found myself doing things to annoy him because he was constantly annoying me with one thing or another. Now he had multiple sclerosis, so he was in one of those scooters.
Yeah.
So he was always leaving his scooter on while he was eating dinner. And I don't know, 100 times I thought, Dad, you got to turn the scooter off. You're going to lose the power. And he would leave it on. So I would turn it off for him. He would see me turn it off. And then, but before I turned it off, I turned the speed all the way up to the highest speed. So my father would have to like get that sudden urge to go to the bathroom during dinner. He'd turn it on, he'd put it in reverse, and he'd end up halfway up the wall behind him.
Oh
He used
God.
to peel out like a drag race. And he used to call me Dopey Bastard. You Dopey Bastard. Since I was a kid, he would call me Dopey. I thought my name was Dopey Bastard at one point.
My favorite story, I think, was he was in a wheelchair and you went for the day and you hid the remote in the freezer or something, or on top of the fridge.
No, see, my father watches TV. Well, he's dead now, but he used to watch TV all day. That was his whole life, was watching TV. So when he really pissed me off, on my way out the door, I would take the remote control for the TV and put it in the butter bin in the refrigerator, which he would have to have stood up in order to get it. So that's how bad I was.
Oh no. Do you miss him? Do you miss doing pranks on your dad?
I do. I do. Uh,
No,
yeah.
mm,
No, I
Tom.
was going to say he was very gullible toward the end, and he was falling for all these telemarketing things and scams and whatnot.
Oh
Now,
no.
I'm a degenerate gambler and spend a lot of time in Atlantic City, so I happened to get my hands on some stationery from Harrah's, casino, and I typed out a letter to my father saying that his loyalty card was recorded in one of the slot machines the last time he was down in Atlantic City, and he's the winner of this yada yada contest where we're going to pick you up in a limousine and whisk you down for a weekend, and everything will be paid for, your hotel, your food. There'll be a bottle of champagne and chocolate strawberries waiting for you, yada yada yada, free spa. I really laid it on, and it looked authentic, even if he wasn't half senile. And I felt so bad to have to break to him that this is not real, that it was me playing a prank, because
Oh, how
his
could you
eyes
do
lit
that
up.
to a
And
how could you do that to a dying man?
I know, well, he wasn't dying at the time.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Yeah,
you're
and I listen. I understand perfectly. And near the end, my father died at 97, but near the end, he was still mentally functioning, mostly, but he his memory suffered.
yeah.
But I got a lot of work out of him. I remember when he was like 96, I'd tell him to go up and blow the leaves out of the
Seriously?
gutters. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's like, I don't think I should be doing that. Oh, Dad, you're fine. You're really comfortable up there.
Wait, did you
He
kill your
painted the living room. Dad, you used to paint. I'm kidding. I didn't do that.
He's joking.
Yeah. But it's my delivery so that nobody laughs. Ruins it.
Well, we just thought you were being mean to an elderly man.
They said he needed, when he was having a hard time with the cane, they said I needed to get him a walker. Like, screw that. He doesn't do anything around the house. I got him a lawnmower.
A self-propelled lawnmower.
That's smart. That's clever.
I'd look out the back. It'd be dragging him. He'd make furrows in the lawn. I'd follow along and reseed.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Well, we're grasping. We've both told these stories before on air. We got to come up with new stories, Tom. We need to find new relatives to torture.
Oh, can I ask you something? I don't mean to be selfish, but don't they look like a fat RGB?
What?
You?
Don't they look like an overweight RGB? Well, especially
Who?
when I go like this.
Who's they?
Don't they look like Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
Who? Old people?
Me?
You? No.
Randy.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you, if you had that the collar, you might. Yeah.
I thought I looked a little like her.
I was so upset when she died. I
know,
really
me too.
loved her a lot. And I'd heard her speak, out of the court many, many times. Such a wonderful woman. And
Very smart. Very
and
progressive.
yeah, she listen, she got women's rights. Can you believe this is what this woman fought for? And she had to. That a woman of our age at all had to fight for rights for women.
She was something.
And she did it. She did it at the Supreme Court by defending a man who was discriminated.
Wow.
Very smart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In my next life, I want to be smart.
Randy, viewing audience, I'm sorry, to our listener, Randy is very smart. He's very clever.
You. Thank
He's
you.
dark.
Randy is very smart. Ta-da.
One of her jokes is this is my version of what I remember of your joke. So I'm at my psychiatrist and I found out it was his birthday and I'm like, oh, what should I get? What should I get my psychiatrist for a birthday? And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll give him his copays.
Yeah, it goes like this. I've been racking my brains trying to figure out what to get my therapist for his birthday next week. And finally I was like, oh yeah, why don't they just give him those co-payments I owe him? That was good though. That you have a good recollection, Doug.
Well, when I
You have a-
remember when something is funny, I remember. And if I
Oh,
don't
that's
remember, if I can't remember, I could do a lot of your act, I think. If I can't remember a comedian's act, I don't think they were funny. That's why Tom can't remember my act, but I remember his.
I love my favorite joke is when you go out on that date and you make the woman's dog come.
Talk about heavy petting.
Oh my God. I like that one.
It's, and that was a true story. That was a story. That was my first date after my divorce. Oh, I wasn't, and I was still living at home at the time. But I was still technically married too, but it was coming. But it was a true story. And on the ride home, I remember looking up to the God I don't believe in, thinking he's telling me. I didn't know the dog had an orgasm at the time, but then because I was thinking about my car because the alternator had failed and I was worried I was going to get home or not. But when it hit me driving home, what happened to this dog? Because the woman yelled at me, "Get away from the dog! You don't pet a dog like that." I'm like, I just pet it normally, just really, really well. But I love that story. I thought it was God telling me, go out and be a comedian.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
That was a story that needed to be. I checked it with friends of mine. I told my friends the story, and they all loved the story.
Did you know that, Randy, Doug had a dog named Quat? So when he run away, he can yell, "Come, Quat."
That's funny. That's funny. Come Quat. And
Anyway,
zucchini.
so you have a nice dark side to you. So I don't know why I like that. A nice dark side to you. To your comedy.
I thought you meant my skin.
Yeah. Well, that too. You getting
that joke
enough sun?
where like when I go out to lunch with my girlfriends, and I know they're my girlfriends because they're stabbing me in the back, and I sat next to the beautiful blonde one from Scandinavia with the fair translucent skin, and she's like, "Oh, Randy, I feel so bad for you. You're so dark. You must be a hairy beast who needs to wax all the time."
Oh my God.
Yeah, she said that. But don't worry, I got her. I asserted dominance and I bit her on the neck. I got her back.
So, way back in the day, being white and fair skinned was considered, that was, the wealthy, the royalty would be the ones that could afford to be inside and not work out in the sun and get tan. And I heard that Cleopatra used to take some poison. I want to say belladonna, but there was some poison that would make your skin even whiter.
Seriously?
Yeah, that was the vanity of the time.
Did Michael Jackson take that?
He must have. He took something.
Well, he did. And something, you bring that up. I was so sad that day, and it was so criminal. Here is a guy that had everything to live for. He was beloved by the entire world, and some bad doctors close to him. He didn't have people close enough to him that cared enough about him to know what was going on and stop.
Do you think he molested those boys?
Well, what time is bedtime at Michael Jackson's house? When the big hand touches the little hand.
Honestly, Randy, I will tell you, I don't think he did, but there was strong testimony years later about it. I'd like to believe not. There was some testimony about it, but also he seemed like such a gentle, wounded soul. I could see him just really, truly loving the kids. And because he never really had a childhood. his father was cruel to him. You know, they had to beat up on him to turn him into the Jackson Five, and you know, he never had a childhood. So, you know,
Like I
I
never
could
told
see
you, but
that.
when I taught in Patterson, there was this is a true story. One of the students was a Michael Jackson impersonator,
Oh,
and he actually spent time at the Neverland Ranch with
what did
Michael.
he say?
He said that Michael just loves children.
Oh,
I
how
didn't
old
ask
was
him.
he?
I didn't
How
ask him to define love, but
how old was he when he spent time at the ranch?
um, well, I knew him when he was like 16, 15, 16, and this had been years prior. So I don't know how old he was.
The people who love children, do they still love them when they become adults, or then are they not loved anymore once they grow up?
I don't know.
Doug, now you're yawning. Let's all catch
Again,
each other yawning.
it's a radio show. Okay. This will be a moment. The next 5 minutes are brought to you by Sleep Ease. If you have trouble sleeping, paying.
Oh, you know what? Try, Randy, try melatonin to
I'm
help
going
you
to
sleep.
melatonin. I'm going to
Yeah,
do
I
that.
started taking these CBD oil tablets that also has melatonin in it, and the combination of the two just like knocks you the hell out.
I've got some
Oh,
melatonin my
that's good to
dad never
know.
took.
Is it a pill or an oil?
It's a capsule, so it's oil inside the gel cap.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So you want some, Randy?
I think I might. I think I might need some. I have to get some.
Hey guys, we only have like another 7 or 8 minutes to get through.
Randy,
Why don't we?
I wanted to ask you, Randy, one, how long have you been doing comedy, and what was probably the most memorable moment you had?
It's a good question. I've been doing comedy for 68 years. And
It just seems that long.
the most memorable moment I had was getting off stage and someone saying to me, "You smell really good.
Really?
I like your boots. That's a nice scarf." So I stopped showering, wearing boots and scarves because that's not what I want to hear. My most memorable comedy, I think, is being with you guys is my most memorable.
Well, you
Good
definitely have to
answer.
get out of the house more.
Tom, same question for you. Do you have a strongest memory in comedy for some reason?
Well, I got to work with one of my comedy heroes.
Thank you,
Unex-
Tom.
Unexpectedly. No, it
Oh,
wasn't you.
oh, do tell.
Um, I got to work with Bob Nelson,
Nice.
who used to open for Rodney Dangerfield back in the day. And he had, I don't know how many HBO specials. And right after that show that I worked with Bob Nelson, it was at a casino in Pennsylvania. I got a call from Gene Nagel from the Comedy Cove asking if I wanted to open for Bob Nelson.
Oh, how funny is that?
Yeah, and I asked, did Bob request me? Because I just worked with him. He says, no, I just thought that you two would work well together. Your comedy was similar.
I
So I
love
said,
it.
yeah, so it was twice within like a month or so.
Very cool story. Very cool.
Nobody's ever asked me to open for them like that.
Well, you
I
opened for Gilbert Gottfried, right?
I did open for Gilbert.
you know, you want to hear something? I was doing a show at Gotham Comedy Club early on, and they were like, and they ended up bumping me. They ended up bumping me because Jim Gaffigan came in.
Fucking Jim Gaffigan. He
Yeah, he
stole a
was great,
joke of
and I
mine
had to
when I
go
was at
after
Gotham.
him, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I
F
gotta go
him.
after Jim Gaffigan.
I did Gotham too. It was my 4th comedy show ever. Gaffigan was the surprise guest host. And a friend of mine who came to the show like 2 weeks later said, I heard Gaffigan like dabbling around with your premise. I had a premise of Mary giving birth to Jesus. And, you know, the story was it was Immaculate Conception,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So anyway, it was kind of an inappropriate joke. I shouldn't have done it. It wasn't really jokes because it was my first show ever. So I went up with like a list of 60 things that I was going to cover in my time. And one of them was, understanding how Jesus came about without, the natural way people normally are born, Anyway, Gaffigan dabbled with that premise.
Seriously?
So it pissed me off and it kind of encouraged me at the same time.
It sort of encourages you to write more. Sometimes you don't know, did somebody rip you off? Or is it that, like, just the way the mind thinks, like sometimes you could come up with another. I like it when menopausal women accuse other menopausal women of taking their jokes like they're the only frickin' woman who went through menopause. It's like certain things are shared experiences.
Yeah,
I had,
absolutely.
before COVID, I did a show and 3 menopausal women came up and accused me of stealing their menopausal jokes. And I'm like, are you
Don't
kidding
you
me?
hate when that
I have
happens?
my own experience, ladies. It might be different than yours.
Randy, do you know why they call it
men?
You know why they call it menopause?
Why?
Because men have to pause before they say anything.
That's for sure.
And
That's
then it's
for
wrong.
sure.
Yeah.
I did a joke. I have to be careful about it, but it's my ex was really masterful at asking me a yes or no question in a way that either answer I knew there was going to be a problem with either way. And then she used to get angry at me for things that I'd say, except I hadn't said anything. She'd ask me a question, I wouldn't say anything. She'd tell me what my answer was, yell at me for my answer, and I'd be looking dumbfounded like, how did she know I was going to say that?
Because women know everything.
So, Randy, do you have any exciting comedy and or other shows coming up that you would like to share
Well,
with
like I was
our
telling
listener?
you, I'm doing that murder mystery the weekend
Yes.
of November 14th and 15th. We're doing a it's called Soup Brandos. It's a takeoff on the.
And if people wanted to participate in this, how would they go about doing that?
Let them check my page, Randy of Simon Lupo on Facebook, and
That's
it's at the
Randy
Middletown
with an
Sports Center. Say that again. Well, Randy with an I. Randy with an I. Yes.
Simon with an I.
Yeah, and it's audience participation. You could volunteer and you could get a part. It's fun. It's so much fun. And then we have games and contests. It's a blast.
Lupo with a U.
And where is that going to be?
At the Middletown Sports Complex.
Oh, okay.
Middletown, New Jersey.
Yeah, I have an aunt and uncle there.
So should people bring?
Tell them to come. Tell them to come. I'm going to play Dr. Melfi.
Oh, really? Awesome. That's perfect casting.
People need to dress in
I think I was
period.
typecasted.
Do participants need to dress in appropriate
They
period?
can. People, we make it as fun as we tell people come dressed as your favorite character. We have prizes for the best costume. It's fun. We just make it like a big party. There's food, drinks.
It sounds fun.
Oh, you know what? You know who should be the murderer in your next murder mystery?
Who?
COVID-19.
Well, that's true. That's true.
You should have like somebody from China.
Oh, wow.
Well, wow. Randy, and on one of our previous shows, we had Dave Satzik on the show. He does impressions.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, and we got him to do an impression of Peter Falk as Columbo. And we did a skit where there was a murder that he was trying to solve, and it turns out it was the murder hornets that came over that killed the victim. But it was...
It was a box of Honey Nut Cheerios.
So it was good, right?
Yeah, he was good as Columbo, yeah. And it was funny, Columbo wasn't one of the voices that he normally did. He had to learn how to do it the skit on our show.
Oh,
But
wow.
his Christopher Walken, I think, is amazing, and it just cracks me up. So he called in as Christopher Walken. I forget what we talked with him about. Was it
We
pancakes?
talked about pancakes,
Yeah.
how to make good pancakes.
Who doesn't love pancakes?
Right. Christopher
And-
Walken does.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. We ought to get other. Do you have any voices? Can you do any impersonations, Randy?
I could just do a really, really good Brooklyn accent. Oh, I do like a really good impersonation of myself. You want to see?
yeah.
Oh my God. Randy, it's like we're looking at you. It's
Right?
amazing.
Wasn't that good?
Great.
That's how I impersonate myself. That's like my inner workings.
I think the problem with the impersonators is, you impersonate people that people know. They'll at least pick, it doesn't sound like Christopher Walken. So I do an imitation of people that nobody knows. Like Howard Smith was in my 5th grade class.
Yes.
He kind of sounds like me. I'm not going to do him.
Oh, do
Believe
him,
me.
do him, do him
Okay.
before I get murdered. I'm still hearing footsteps upstairs. This
Okay,
may be
well,
the
you do
last
your
show I ever
imitation
do,
of
guys,
Randy
'cause I may
Simon
get
Lupo.
murdered tonight.
And Tom, who are you going to imitate for this segment of our closing?
Marcel Marceau.
Okay. Hey, wait.
Wait, what do you do like this?
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
I used to be really good at that.
Instead of not getting out of the box, I can't get into the buffet.
Phoebe.
Yeah, you could do your hands like trying to get through that plexiglass.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, I guess we should thank our listener.
Who's listening? Who's the lucky listener? Did they win a prize?
It's Inga from Sweden.
Hi, Inga.
Hi, Inga.
Thank you again for the tulips.
Tiptoe through the tulips, through the tulips.
He was a strange guy.
He was.
Tiny Tim. Oh my God.
You remember that guy from Slovakia that sent us Slovakian chocolate or something? A big fan of the show. You remember his name? He had a weird name. Slithnog, something like that. No?
I don't remember. No. Can't say that I do.
But Slovakia. Another Ethiopia is another, for some reason, it's like our main demographic is Ethiopia. They've been writing letters. They want Tom to come and tour the country. And every time they ask him to come, they'll slip in a little offhand, can you bring barbecue sauce? And I'm like, Tom, you shouldn't go. It's Ethiopia. Like, Doug, it's a comedy. Tom, you're performing in COVID. You're going to go to Ethiopia? You don't know what these people have planned for you? They want you to bring barbecue sauce. All the signals are there.
They want me to shake out my shirt so they can feed on the crumbs that fall out.
Oh my God. You could go there, shake your sillies out, and all your crumbs will fall out.
Yeah.
How would you open in Ethiopia for an Ethiopian crowd, Tom? Do you have any Ethiopian-friendly material?
I would look down and say, "You're going to eat that?"
Except you wouldn't see anything.
Right.
I wonder, how would a country of skinny people, how would they welcome you? Would you be welcomed?
Well, it's kind of like the audiences in South Jersey. I'm always the biggest guy in the room in South Jersey.
They give you those really bony hugs.
Yeah.
Really, there aren't heavy people in South Jersey?
There aren't heavy people, and there aren't many Italians for some strange reason. So my
In South
Italian
Jersey?
jokes.
Well, what are they if they're not Italian?
I'm talking like down, like outside of the Philly area and the Delaware Valley area. I don't know. There's a lot of German descent, a lot of Irish, but not a lot of Italians. But it's funny.
Have an Irish or a German accent you could do?
No.
You could change your name.
But it's funny, my first paid gig after the lockdown was to do a bachelor party for a bunch of farmers. What the hell? For a bunch of farmers in Mullica Hill, New Jersey. And it just so happens that they were all Italian.
Oh, wow.
And I thought I was going to get whacked. I thought that was like where they send you for witness protection program, because it's like in the middle of nowhere.
Hey, Tom, you were great. Hey, we want to show you this bridge out back after the show.
Like a great place to bury a body. Mullica Hill, New Jersey.
I've been in Mullica, on the Mullica River, canoeing.
Huh?
Yeah, I used to go camping in the Pine Barrens.
Where is Mullica? I'd never heard of it.
Mullica Hill, it's down, it's outside of like Trenton and not far from the Delaware border.
Oh, wow. I want to go.
No, you don't.
Mullica, she likes the name. It
I
has
like
that
it.
ring to it.
Hmm.
Could you marry somebody if their name was Mullica?
Oh, I would.
If that was their
I
first
would
name?
marry them just for the name. I actually have on my toenails. I'm wearing Malaga wine. That's the color I'm wearing.
Really? Mullica wine.
You want to see?
The South Jersey wine color? Yeah. Let's see your toes, Randy.
Well, there was a time I could lift my leg up really high. I don't think I could do it anymore.
It's the radio, Randy.
Huh?
It's the radio, and put some clothes on, by the way.
Oh wait, can you?
Okay, we got a toe.
Nice.
It kind of looks like a burgundy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I can't believe I just showed my foot. Sorry. That's kind of weird, right?
I feel bad for like prompting you to do that, but anyway.
I used to take pictures of my feet all the time. I think I had a foot fetish for my own foot.
I haven't seen my feet in ages.
And then I remember one time Joan Weisblatt diagnosed me with hammer toe.
Oh no.
Because my pictures of my feet were plastered all over the internet.
Yeah, and then fast forward,
Huh?
Joan Weisblatt breaks her toe performing comedy, and I was
That's
there.
right.
Oh, you were there when that happened?
Yeah.
That was in Flemington, right?
Oh my God, it's so painful. You would think, oh, it's just a toe.
Oh
but
my
it's
God, you
painful.
could not believe how hard it was. And the pain grew in her, and
Oh, that's terrible.
You know, I was recently just this past week, I think it was Friday, I was at the foot doctor. And I told her, I said, you know, if I had to resemble a celebrity, why did it have to be Fred Flintstone? Because I definitely have Fred Flintstone's feet.
Oh my God. You know, do iPhones don't respond to toes? I think only fingers. Isn't that weird?
What do you
Is
mean?
What?
What do you mean?
Did you ever try to turn on? Did you ever try to get your iPhone to turn on with your toe?
I can't say that I have.
It's not working.
It's not working, right?
You reminded me, my son had a problem with his foot, and he went to the foot doctor, and he came back, and he goes, Dad, the doctor felt my balls. I'm like, what?
What?
And he said, yeah, they said it was, there were some foot symptoms that you, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like furious. I called up the doctor, and I made an appointment with her the next week. I wanted to meet her.
You told her the same symptoms?
Yeah, what did you have, son? So, as I used to say on Car Talk, you've wasted another perfectly good hour listening to us.
And,
Thank you for having me.
I want to thank you, Randy. You're always a wonderful guest. You're a wonderful person.
Yeah, you were the most
You
wonderful
really
person
knew.
on this show tonight. Tom and I, we were not there at all. But you young lady, you brought it. and we thank you for it.
And I have to admit, it wasn't the same not being able to actually eat cake. You're right.
I know, I miss that. Could we get together after this COVID crap, or socially distant get together? And I mean, what's the difference? You're playing slot machines anyway, touching that.
Yeah, I don't
I'll
mind.
disinfect. I'll disinfect my being.
I think somebody's going to coordinate a Zoom comedians breakfast.
Oh, good. When are we
Someday.
going to do that? Those are
I
always
don't
fun.
know. Yeah, they weren't so fun getting to because they were like 2 hours away for me.
Oh my God! I remember when I finally got to one, my car spun out like 180 degrees on the highway. I
Wow.
like saw my life before me, and I was like, "Oh my God! It's the first comedian breakfast," and I have a spin out.
Oh,
It was
wow.
scary. It was really scary.
In the rain?
I don't even remember. I just remember pressing on the brake, and all of a sudden the car started spinning around. But I didn't hit anyone,
That
and
was good.
then the car turned around and was facing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it'll do that when you're on a road and spin 180
Yeah,
degrees.
and then but people were nice. They stopped and they were like giving me bottles of water and saying kind things. So it was worth it.
Yeah, you went the other way. You reminded me of, again, Joan Weisblatt. One of the first times I met her, I'd known her, but she pulled up for an open mic in near I forget where it was, maybe in Garwood, but she pulled into a perfectly good spot alongside a curb, and she went like a foot up over the curb. Her front wheel went a foot up over the curb and then pulled off and dropped down on it.
Well, she wanted to see how close she could get. I had an uncle that used to do that. You know, you just want like the perfect
It's like,
part.
well, how far can you go when the tank says empty kind of game. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Well, we should have ended the show when I tried to end the show.
Oh, thank you again for having me. See you guys soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, and see you
Mooches.
Zoom. Okay, Randy.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Oh, and once again, if you want a comedy show, remember to write to Jack at jirwinproductions.com and he will hook you up. Yep.
Bye, Jack.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, guys.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.